Till now we saw the retaining wall, and in that case we construct the retaining wall and we keep our backfill or the soil behind the retaining wall. So this is a permanent structure, whereas in some cases we need to make this cut as a temporary thing, because for doing some construction we need to make this cut. So for that we need to have some arrangement to keep the soil in this vertical level. So this is a braced type of braced cut, and there are two types of braced cut, that is shallow cut and deep cut. So shallow cut is less than 6 meter, deep cut is greater than 6 meter. So for shallow cut or for any cut we need to design these units. So for designing these we need to know what is going to be the force in them. So for shallow cuts there are standard units available, whereas for deep cut, when the depth is greater than 6 meter, so for that we need to actually find this earth's pressure and we need to multiply it by the area so that we can find out the load on each of these units. So there has been a question on this, so that's why I have taken this. So some basic understanding should have been there. So for finding out the load, what we do, so this is a vertical level, so in this direction we have struts, and in this direction, that is horizontal line, then also we have struts. So what is going to be the load on a single strut? So half area on this side, half area or half length on this side, half length on this vertical side, and half on this below. So this rectangular area will be the area for which the pressure will be acting, and we multiply it by the area, so then we can find out the load on the strut. But now normally what we studied, the pressure distribution on the wall is given as this, but in case of this design we assume the pressure distribution such as these. So if it is a case of moist or dense sand, so in that case it is assumed a uniform pressure distribution with this pressure intensity as 0.65 K gamma H, and in case of clayey soil, for gamma H upon Cu less than equal to 4, it is taken as 0.2 gamma H to 0.4 gamma H with these offsets as 0.25 H, and when gamma H upon Cu is greater than 4, so it is taken as gamma H minus 4C. So these are the pressure distribution what we assume. We will not consider this triangular distribution for this case. So let's see one question which has been asked. A braced cut 5 meter wide and 7.5 meter deep is proposed in a cohesionless soil deposit having effective cohesion C dash equal to 0, angle of friction is equal to 36 degrees, C is equal to 0. The first row of strut is to be installed at a depth of 0.5 meter below the ground surface. Okay, so let's draw a diagram first for this. So it is saying that it is 7.5 meter deep and 5 meter wide. So if we take the depth, so this is 7.5 meter and 5 meter wide would be in this direction, that is horizontal direction. So we'll just consider this vertical direction here. So what else is given? The first row of struts is to be installed at a depth of 0.5 meter below the ground surface. Let's say it is here 0.5 meter, and vertical spacing between struts should be 1.5 meter. So after that, at 1.5 meter remaining will be there, that is 1.5. So how much is it? 6 meter, 6.5. So below this here 1 meter more is there. So this is the total depth. Now what else is given? If the horizontal spacing of the struts is 3 meter, so in this direction next line will be there on the distance of 3 meter, and the unit weight of the deposit is 20 kilonewton per meter cube. Gamma is equal to 20 kilonewton per meter cube. The maximum strut load will be. So here this horizontal spacing is 3 meter. So what kind of area we will consider? So this spacing is given as 3 meter, and this spacing is given as 1.5 meter. So we'll consider half the area here and half the area here, and so half the area here and half here, so it will be 3 meter here, and the vertical spacing for the first row will be different than the second, because here this depth is 0.5 meter. So this first row we'll consider, on the top we'll consider 0.5, and here we'll consider half, that is 0.75. So we can find out the area covered by struts. So let's say this is the first row, so this is A. So area covered by strut A, it will be equal to 3, that is the horizontal length, and then vertical will be 0.5 plus 0.75, so it is equal to 3.75 meter square. And let's say this is B, and so for this one and below this, for all of them, area will be same. So area covered by strut B, that is 3 into 0.75 plus 0.75. So this is, if we take this one, so here it is 0.75 and here also it is 0.75. So this is equal to 4.5 meter square. Now we need to find out the pressure intensity. So this is a case of sand, so for that we can use this diagram. So here the pressure is given as 0.65 Ka gamma H. So Pa is equal to 0.65 Ka gamma H. Now we need to find coefficient of active earth pressure first, which is given as 1 minus sin phi upon 1 plus sin phi. Now phi is given as 36 degree. So if we put it, so it will come out as 0.259. Now we can just put it here. So Pa is equal to 0.65 into 0.259 into gamma is equal to 20. Gamma is 20 and depth is, total depth is 7.5 meter into 7.5. So pressure intensity is equal to 25.25 kilonewton per meter square. This is the pressure intensity. So at any level, because we are taking uniform distribution, so pressure is given as, it is working like this. The value is 25.25 kilonewton per meter square. Now if we multiply it with the area which is covered by the strut, so we can find out the strut load. So for strut A, so we can see from here itself that area covered by strut A is less than the area covered by strut B, and we need to find out the maximum strut load. So we should just simply multiply this pressure with the area of strut B, that is 25.25 into 4.5, which is equal to 113.6 kilonewton. And from the options, so this is the closest option. So if you take this value and if you take more points here, then this value will be closer to this, because I have taken only 3 decimals, so it is coming out something less. So this was the question depending on the topic of strut. So you can, if you know this much, that will be sufficient, I think. Let's see the next question, that is a total active earth thrust on a vertical wall 3 meter high retaining a horizontal sand backfill, unit weight equal to gamma is equal to 20 kilonewton per meter cube and phi is equal to 30 degrees when water table is at the bottom of the wall. So we need to find the total active thrust, so that is Fa. So in case of wall, this is 3 meter high, so we know that thrust is equal to the area of this diagram, and here this is equal to Ka gamma H, and if this is H, then Fa is equal to half Ka gamma H square. Now for phi is equal to 30 degree, Ka will be 1 minus sin 30 upon 1 plus sin 30, that is equal to 1 by 3. If we put it here, FA is equal to 1 by 2 into 1 by 3 into 20 into H is equal to 3, so it is 9. And so from here active thrust comes out to be 30 kilonewton per meter, which is known as this option. So the next question here is an unsupported excavation is made up to the maximum possible depth in a clay soil having unit weight is equal to this. So gamma is equal to 18 kilonewton per meter cube, C is equal to 100 kilonewton per meter square, phi is equal to 0. The active earth pressure according to Rankine's theory at the base level of the excavation. So what is it saying? An excavation is made up to the maximum possible depth. So how do we find the maximum possible depth? It is given as 4c upon gamma under root of Ka, and here Ka will be 1. This phi is not 0, it is equal to phi is equal to 30 degrees. So we need to find Ka for that case. So Ka is equal to 1 minus sine 30 upon 1 plus sine 30, that is equal to 1 by 3. And from here maximum depth of cut will be 4 into 100 upon gamma is equal to 18 into under root 1 by 3, which is equal to 38.49 meters. And now we need to find out the active earth pressure according to Rankine's theory at the base level. So we need to find the pressure at 38.49 meter. So in case of C5 soil, the active earth pressure we know it is given as Ka gamma Z minus 2C under root of Ka. So we just need to put these values. So Pa is equal to Ka is equal to 1 by 3, gamma is 18, Z is 38.49 minus 2 into 100 under root of 1 by 3. So from here it comes out to be 115.46 kilonewton per meter square. So this is the answer. After that, next is a retaining wall of height 8 meter retains dry sand. In the initial state, the soil is in loose condition or loose state and has a void ratio of 0.5, dry unit weight as this. So this is a 8 meter high wall. What else is given? It is given as E1 is equal to 0.5, gamma 1 is equal to 17.8 kilonewton per meter cube, phi is equal to 30 degree or phi 1 is equal to 30 degree, and subsequently the backfill is compacted to a state where void ratio is 0.4. So we can say that E2 is equal to 0.4, gamma 2 is equal to 18.8 kilonewton per meter cube, and phi is equal to 35 degrees. Now what else is being asked? The ratio of the initial passive thrust to the final passive thrust. So we need to find out the ratio of passive thrust according to Rankine's theory. So passive thrust we know that it is given as, the passive pressure is given as Kp gamma h, and so the distribution is again triangular. This value is Kp gamma h, this is h. So passive thrust you can say Fp is equal to half Kp gamma h square. So for two cases Fp1 upon Fp2 is equal to half Kp gamma 1 h square divided by, this will be half Kp1, similarly half Kp2 gamma 2 h square. So here this is cancelled, h is cancelled, so we need to find Kp1 gamma 1 upon Kp2 gamma 2. Angles are given, that is 30 degree and 35 degree. So for that you can find that Kp1 is equal to 1 plus sine 30 upon 1 minus sine 30, that is equal to 3, and Kp2 is equal to 1 plus sine 35 upon 1 minus sine 35, that is equal to 3.688. So just put the values here. So Kp1 is 3 into 17.8 divided by 3.688 into 18.8. So Fp1 upon Fp2 is equal to 0.77. So the answer is this one. Now here this void ratio has not been used, but we can see one thing. In the second condition, the void ratio is decreased. So when void ratio is decreased, so unit weight has increased. So what is the effect of that? We know here the ratio of 1 upon 2 is coming less than 1. It means that Fp2 is greater than Fp1. So it means that when the void ratio is decreased and the unit weight is increased, then the passive thrust increases. So as I said earlier, if the soil is compacted, then passive pressure or passive thrust will increase, whereas the active pressure or active thrust will decrease. The next question is, using phi is equal to 0 analysis and assuming planar failure as shown. So the figure for this is something like this. The minimum factor of safety against shear failure. This depth is here 4 meter and the surface is like this. So factor of safety has been asked. It is a pure clay soil. So phi is equal to 0, Cu is equal to 120 kilonewton per meter square, and gamma saturated is equal to 20 kilonewton per meter cube. So we know that maximum height of cut, this is the height of cut which has been provided, but we can find out factor of safety as maximum height of cut divided by the height of cut that has been provided. Maximum height of cut, we can say it as the H critical, which is equal to 4c upon gamma under root of Ka, but for phi is equal to 0, Ka will be 1. Hc is equal to 4c upon gamma, which is equal to 4 into 120 upon 20. So it is 6 into 4, that is 24. So Hc is equal to 24. So from here we can find out the factor of safety as 24 upon the height of cut is 4. So factor of safety is equal to 6. This is the answer.